The truth about abundance is this. It's not outside of you, not in books or affirmations. It lives within your mind. And today, we're going to reprogram it. Over the next 30 minutes, I will show you how to break free from the invisible barriers blocking you from living abundance as your natural state. I won't do this with empty promises, but with awareness, emotion, and practical steps you can start using today. Maybe you've spent years searching for it. You've visualized, affirmed, read countless books, and yet every morning you wake up with the feeling that something essential still isn't shifting, as if the life you want exists on the other side of the glass, and you're left looking in from the outside. The hardest part is, deep down, you know you deserve more. You feel it, you sense it. There's a part of you that's already ready to thrive but doesn't know how to cross the gap between who you are today and who you could be. That changes now. This video isn't about fleeting inspiration. It's a real tool to activate abundance at the source by precisely reprogramming your subconscious. If any of these words resonate with you, if something inside says this is the moment, then subscribe, because this channel is much more than just content. It's your roadmap to real transformation. What you're about to discover in this video will forever change how you understand abundance. I'm not giving you another checklist or another manifestation technique that asks for blind faith. What I will do is show you exactly why your brain is programmed to resist prosperity even when you consciously long for it with all your heart. There's an invisible enemy living in your subconscious, so subtle you don't even suspect it's there, but so powerful it's been sabotaging each attempt you've made to create abundance. And when you recognize it, when you see how it operates, everything will make sense. Like all those times you felt you were about to make a real change, and then something unexplainable pulled you back to where you started. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand what has been blocking your abundance, you'll have the exact neuroscience-backed tools to erase that pattern at its roots. Because abundance isn't something you conquer out there in the world, it's something you turn on within. And turning it on has a precise protocol that science has already cracked. This enemy has a name, and I'll call it for what it is: your primitive survival programming. It's the oldest part of your brain, designed to keep you alive in a world of genuine scarcity where resources were limited and threats were constant. But the same program that once saved your life is now destroying your ability to prosper. Your primitive brain can't tell the difference between a real physical threat and the possibility of having more money, more opportunity, more abundance. To it, standing out is dangerous. Being noticed draws predators. Having more than others makes you a target. That's why every time you get close to a higher level of prosperity, your survival program triggers every internal alarm and sabotages you in ways so subtle you call it bad luck or lack of ability. This is why you can be fired up with motivation on Monday morning, only to fall back into old routines by Wednesday. It's not lack of willpower, it's your survival programming doing exactly what it was designed to do, keeping you in the familiar zone where safety is assured, even if that familiarity is mediocrity. Dr. Joe Dispenza, one of the most respected neuroscientists in the field of personal transformation, has spent more than 2 decades studying exactly this phenomenon. In his research with thousands of people, he's demonstrated that 95% of our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors run on subconscious programs installed before the age of 7. Dispenza explains, "When we try to create a new life from the same personality that created our current reality, change is impossible, because that personality is built on neural networks reinforced by years of repetition, networks designed to automatically reject anything that doesn't fit the familiar identity." His neuroimaging studies have revealed something extraordinary. When a person manages to sustain an elevated emotional state of abundance and gratitude for long periods, they literally rewrite their brain's connections. But here lies the problem he discovered. Most people try to change their external reality without first changing their inner reality, and that's like planting a seed in poisoned soil and expecting it to grow. Let me show you exactly how this invisible cycle keeps you stuck. It all starts the moment you decide you want more abundance in your life. Your conscious mind gets excited, makes plans, visualizes that prosperous future you crave. But instantly, your subconscious, working at the speed of a supercomputer, scans that new information and compares it against everything it already knows about you. Here's where the trap springs shut. Your subconscious finds thousands of reasons why that new reality isn't possible for you. It recalls every time your parents said, "Money doesn't grow on trees," every family story of struggle and limitation, every failed attempt you ever made. In the span of milliseconds, without your awareness, it already decided this new abundance goal is a threat to your known identity. That's when the inner war begins. Your conscious mind pushes forward, but your subconscious launches subtle counterattacks. Suddenly, you lose motivation out of nowhere. Perfectly logical excuses pop up to delay important actions. Emergencies appear that drain your time and energy. You get distracted by problems that never bothered you before. The cruelest part is that all of this happens below the threshold of your awareness. You don't see the war, you only experience the symptoms. You wake up one day and realize you're not taking the steps that lead to abundance. You feel guilty. You think you lack the discipline, or maybe abundance just isn't meant for you. And here's the part that hurts most. You interpret that self-sabotage as proof that abundance really isn't for you. Your subconscious takes that interpretation and stores it as a new limiting belief, making the program even stronger. Every failed cycle becomes more fuel for keeping the reality of scarcity alive. That's why surface-level techniques don't work, because they're battling an enemy they can't even see. It's like trying to win a war against an invisible opponent who knows your every move before you do. It's not because you're weak or don't have what it takes. You're fighting against the most sophisticated operating system ever created, your own subconscious mind. But here comes the first key to breaking this cycle, and it will challenge everything you've been taught about change. Most people wait to feel motivated before they take action. They wait for inspiration to come, for the stars to align, for that perfect moment, and that waiting keeps the self-sabotage program running. The first principle of liberation is this: action creates emotion, not the other way around. Your brain is designed to generate emotions in response to behaviors, not the other way around. When you decide to act in service of your abundance, without waiting to feel motivated, without waiting to be in the mood, and without waiting for perfect circumstances, you're sending your subconscious a direct signal that this new, prosperous identity is real. Every small action you take toward abundance, especially when you least feel like it, is a vote for your new identity. Your subconscious can argue against your thoughts and challenge your feelings, but it cannot argue against physical evidence. When your body consistently moves toward prosperity, that internal program has no choice but to start reorganizing itself. Real transformation begins the moment you stop negotiating with your internal resistance and simply act, not out of brute force, but from the quiet, unshakable conviction that your abundance is inevitable. Now, let me show you how to turn that first action into unstoppable momentum. The secret lies in understanding that your brain operates through what neuroscientists call directed neuroplasticity. Every time you repeat a new behavior, especially when it runs counter to your usual programming, you are literally carving out new neural pathways that grow stronger and more automatic with each repetition. But here's what most people don't realize. You don't need to make massive, dramatic changes to generate that positive inertia. In fact, small and consistent changes are way more powerful because they fly below your survival system's radar. Your subconscious doesn't see small actions as a threat, so it doesn't trigger resistance mechanisms. Think of it like this: if you decide to save just $1 every day, your mind doesn't panic. But if you try to save 1,000 in one go, 1,000 reasons pop up explaining why it isn't possible. Yet that small daily step repeated over a year not only becomes a significant sum, but more importantly, reprograms your brain's concept of yourself. You become someone who thrives, who takes care of their abundance, who makes smart decisions with money. Each sustained small action becomes irrefutable evidence of who you've chosen to be. And when your identity shifts, your reality has no choice but to follow, because the outside world is always a reflection of your internal programming. Now, let's get to the most powerful technique to speed this reprogramming, something you can start using today. It's called conscious emotional repetition. It works because it combines two things your subconscious cannot ignore: the physical repetition of words and the strong emotional charge that comes with them. Your brain is constantly searching for patterns to predict your future and keep you safe. When you declare the same abundance affirmations with the same elevated emotion daily, you give your subconscious consistent evidence that this new, prosperous version of you is real, stable, and safe. The key is not just repeating empty words. You must feel abundance in your body as you say them. You need to experience gratitude, excitement, the certainty that this prosperity is already yours. Your subconscious doesn't distinguish between a lived event and one vividly imagined with strong emotion. Each morning, before your analytical mind fully kicks in, dedicate 10 minutes to declaring your new abundant identity, not as something you hope will happen, but as something you already are. Speak in the present with genuine emotion, feeling the truth of your words resonate in your body. I am someone who naturally attracts abundance. Money flows easily to me. I deserve prosperity in all areas of my life. When you do this consistently, something extraordinary happens. Your brain starts looking for evidence in reality that confirms this new programming. You begin to notice opportunities you never saw, make different decisions, and vibrate on a frequency that attracts exactly what you are declaring. If you feel this message shifting something deep within, save this video to a personal playlist. Replaying it is part of the process of subconscious recording. Your transformation needs emotional repetition, and this content can become that daily reminder to ignite your new programming. And now, with an understanding of the power of mental reprogramming, let me talk to you about something that could be the ultimate catalyst for your transformation. Because knowing these techniques is one thing, but applying them with the consistency and precision your subconscious needs for true change is another. Most people have all the information, but they don't have a structured path guiding them day after day through deep reprogramming. That's why I created The Path, a complete mental transformation system that supports you step by step in installing new abundant programming. It's not just another course full of theory. It's a validated process that has helped thousands break free from scarcity patterns and activate their natural magnetism for prosperity. The Path is specifically designed for people like you who have tried to change but need a systematic way to reprogram their subconscious for good. If you feel you're ready to move beyond the mental loops keeping you stuck in mediocrity and take true control over your reality, you'll find all the information at the link in the description. This could be your very first real step toward the abundant life your soul knows you deserve to live. But let me be completely honest with you about something most people don't want to hear. Every day you spend not reprogramming these patterns is another day your subconscious is gathering proof that scarcity is your normal. It's like having an emotional bank account where every day you don't deposit thoughts and actions of abundance, a limitation debit automatically gets recorded. Think about it. If you're 30 years old and wait 5 more years to actually reprogram your mind, that's 1,125 days of consolidating the same patterns that keep you where you are. 1,825 days cementing the same scarcity neural pathways in your brain. Meanwhile, time passes. Opportunities you'd see with an abundance-programmed mind are slipping by. The decisions you'd make from a prosperous identity go untaken. The life you could build with a mindset of abundance sits in the realm of what could have been. This isn't to scare you, but to wake you up, because the transformation you need won't happen by itself. Every moment of procrastination is a vote to keep things exactly as they are. Here's something that might sound radical, but is absolutely necessary. If you truly want to transform your life, you have to kill your plan B. You have to burn the ships that let you run back to mediocrity when things get difficult. As long as there's a comfortable escape route, your subconscious will know you're not truly committed. Studies in commitment psychology have shown something fascinating. People who commit publicly to change are 85% more likely to stick with it than those who keep their decisions private. Why? When there's no way to go back without consequences, the brain stops looking for exits and starts searching for solutions. Your mind is designed to find the path of least resistance. If it knows you can give up and nobody will ever notice, or that you can slink back to comfort without consequences, it will sabotage your efforts and pull you back to familiar ground. But when you eliminate the option to give up, when you make transformation a matter of emotional survival, something changes. Suddenly, your brain starts working for you, not against you. Now, it's not about if you'll find a way to thrive, but how you'll find it. That brings me to a strategy that might make you uncomfortable, but it's incredibly effective. You need to create positive external pressure. You need to make your commitment to abundance visible to others, not to impress anyone, but to tap one of the most powerful instincts in human nature, the fear of social judgment. Your brain will do almost anything to avoid public humiliation. It's a primal, powerful program that can actually defeat even the deepest self-sabotage patterns. When you tell important people in your life that you're going to transform your relationship with money, that you're going to break your scarcity patterns, that you're going to live in abundance, you are creating an emotional lever your subconscious cannot ignore. Share your decision with a trusted friend, write about your transformation on social media, or even make a formal declaration in the mirror and record it. What matters is that there are witnesses to your commitment. Because when you know others are watching your progress, when you know you'll be accountable for your actions, your mind stops creating excuses and starts seeking results. This isn't manipulation. It's using human psychology to your advantage, turning the social pressure that usually limits you into the fuel for your transformation. But now, you must understand one crucial thing about maintaining this new energy. Enthusiasm isn't something you find, it's something you generate. You generate it through a very specific process, one that most people get backwards. They think they need to feel excited first and only then act. When in reality, enthusiasm is the natural result of consistent action toward something you truly value. Every little win you consciously celebrate releases dopamine, the brain's pleasure and motivation neurotransmitter. But here's the magic. You must train your mind to recognize and celebrate wins you'd previously ignore. You saved $10 instead of spending it impulsively? That's a win. You read an article about investing instead of zoning out on social media? That's a win. You decided not to buy something unnecessary? That's a win. Your brain needs a steady diet of emotional fuel to maintain new behavioral patterns. That fuel comes from conscious gratitude for every step you take toward your new abundant identity. When you learn to genuinely enjoy your incremental progress, when you celebrate the journey as much as the destination, you create a self-sustaining enthusiasm loop. Real transformation isn't powered by big dramatic moments. It's fueled by daily recognition that tells your nervous system this path to abundance is pleasurable, safe, and inevitable. And speaking of safety, there's something else you must fiercely protect during this process: your mental environment. Your subconscious is constantly absorbing information, and if you don't consciously control what goes in, others will program your mind for you. Every news story about economic crisis, every conversation about how hard life is, every piece of content that fills your attention with fear or lack, it's all programming your reality. You need to create a conscious filter to protect your new abundance programming. This means stepping away for a while from people who constantly talk about limitations, reducing your intake of news that amplifies fear, and instead feeding your mind with content that supports your new, prosperous identity. It's not about living in a bubble of toxic positivity. It's about being strategic with your mental diet during the most vulnerable period of your transformation. Once your new programming is solid, once your abundant identity is unshakable, then you can face any information without being affected. But while you're reprogramming, your mental environment is sacred. Without protected focus, there is no possible transformation. Your attention is your most valuable resource, and where you place it determines who you become. This brings me to the final concept that will forever change how you approach transformation. Most people try to change their behavior first and only then change their identity. They want to feel abundant so they can then act from abundance. but it's completely backwards. The truth is, you become who you choose to be through the actions you repeat, not through the feelings you're waiting for. Each time you act as an abundant person, even if you don't yet feel it, you're voting for that new identity. Every smart financial decision, every investment in your growth, every moment you choose prosperity over scarcity, that's a vote. Here's a phrase you need to engrave deeply in your mind. I don't act abundant because I am abundant. I am abundant because I act abundant. Your identity doesn't dictate your behavior. Your behavior shapes your identity. Stop waiting to feel different before you start living differently. Start living differently and the feelings will catch up, because your subconscious cannot argue with the physical evidence of who you're choosing to be each day. You are exactly what you repeat. Nothing more, nothing less. So, here is my final challenge to you. This is the challenge that separates those truly ready to transform from those just consuming content for entertainment. Decide right now, as you feel this energy of transformation coursing through you, as your mind opens to the possibility that your life could be completely different, choose one specific action you will take in the next 24 hours that reflects your new abundant identity. Not something big and scary, something small but meaningful that tells your subconscious this change is real. It could be setting aside a definite amount of money. It could be saying no to an impulse purchase. It might be investing in your financial education. Or maybe it's simply cleaning and organizing your space to welcome abundance. But here's what will accelerate your transformation exponentially. Go to the comments right now and declare publicly what action you'll take. Write, "My first abundant action in the next 24 hours will be," and finish the sentence. Do this before your analytical mind starts looking for excuses, because when you declare your commitment publicly, when your decision has witnesses, your brain understands there's no going back, and that positive pressure will become the fuel you need to take that first real step toward the prosperous life you deserve. If you feel that this message has awakened something deep inside you, if you know this channel is a space where your soul finds the answers it's been searching for, subscribe now. This is your refuge for continuous transformation, the place where every video is another key to your personal freedom.